All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Once again, my name is Paul Mikel. I appreciate you jumping on. We are actually launching kind of a new company, but kind of not. I actually owned a company called Gold Rush America about 15 years ago, and it was an amazingly successful company. It was able to help a lot of people around the US. And now we've actually been able to put something together where we are able to do this on a global scale. And today is kind of our official kickoff. And I'm going to kind of give you some background. I started this company, Gold Rush America, about probably 16, 17 years ago now. And it was extremely successful. And the reason why is because of the economy and the market conditions. And because I think people just didn't understand. And even now today, they don't. Like a lot of times people, when they over time, they accumulate things. How many of us in our house look at everything we've got and we've accumulated stuff we really just don't want or need anymore? Well, what I found out about 15, 16 years ago is I owned jewelry stores, I owned pawn shops, I was in that industry. And I started realizing that one of the things that, was happening is a lot of women didn't feel comfortable going to a jewelry store or a pawn shop. And a lot of people didn't even realize what they had sitting in their jewelry box. They might, when you how many of us, when we went to high school, we had to have that class ring and then probably never wore it again after 4 months, or a broken necklace or a broken earring or something you just didn't really even think was, worth anything. And what would happen is people would just throw that in their jewelry box. And over time, they would accumulate it. And the market conditions about 15 years ago, what happened was prices went sky high. Gold prices went from about 300 ounce. And let me show you one of my screens real quick. I'll show you where gold prices are at today. If you want to see this here, hopefully you can see my screen. I know Rodney's on here. If you could do me a favor and just send me a text, make sure you can see my screen. But, right now gold prices are at $22,691. And that's, $14 down. And this is just what I looked up this morning. So that was actually November 8th. So I guess that was yesterday at 4:59 p.m. That's when they closed the market. It closed at $2,691. When I was doing gold parties and we were buying $2 to $4 million in gold about 15 years ago, it was around 1,400. I'll show you the next screen. This was 5 years ago, March 6th of 2020. It was $1,672 per troy ounce, which is a unit of measurement in jewelry. And so I wasn't planning on doing this company again. Like it had run its course. It had done extremely well. But what I started realizing is that the market conditions now are about what they were, if not better than what they were for what we do. I didn't say better in overall, but just better in what we do. And so about 15 years ago, I will just tell you, we had a company. We started doing gold parties where women would bring their old broken things that they wear that they don't wear anymore. And sometimes they did wear them. Like they maybe had an old boyfriend that they weren't allowed to wear that jewelry from anymore, or something they just, wanted to get rid of. And so we built a company where we had about 500 people in the company, but we were buying about $2 to $4 million in gold a week. And the people that were a part of what we were doing were so excited. It was a win-win for everyone. And when you can have a business that's a win-win for everyone, it's amazing. So we had people that would host a party. They would bring their gold. And I'm going to show you a quick video, and then I'll go through the numbers very quickly. And there's 3 ways that people can get started with us and work with us. And everything is a win-win. Like I love a business when it's like, I'm not selling anything. How many have ever been to a party or something when people go, oh, I got to go to this party for my friend. They're selling this junk, or they're selling this hair care. They're selling this actual jewelry. And with us, that's not the case. We are able to go out and do gold parties where people we have a hostess. She'll host a party. She'll have people bring over their old broken things they don't wear anymore. And nothing sentimental. We don't want their sentimental stuff. We don't want stuff that's, high end. We want stuff that they're not wearing anymore. And it's so amazing that it's funny. I get people on a call or I talk to them and go, well, I don't think I have anything. And over the last month and a half, just by mentioning it to a couple of people, just yesterday, or Friday, 2 days ago, about half a month ago, I was in town. One of my friends, I had breakfast with him, and he was in the bar business at one time. And I told him what we were about to do in the gold buying business and do it again. Because he knew what I did back then. And he goes, oh my gosh, we found a chain out in the parking lot. We tried to find out who it belonged to, and they just told me to keep it. I don't even know if it's gold or not. He gave it to me, and I was out of town for 3 weeks. Got back. He'd forgotten that he had even given it to me. I called him up, and I said, hey, I got $300 I'm about to send you through Zelle. And he was like, holy crap, I got way more people I can send to you. Because when you go into a pawn shop or a store, they have a big overhead. They have all these different ways they have to do things. They have employees they have to pay, all these different things. We don't have that. So we're able to pay a higher value. And because of my connections and the people that I know in this industry, we're able to get the top of what we pay out. So what happens is this hostess will post a party, and then we will show up. We'll send one of our certified testers, which that's one of the things that someone can become with us. So you can become a certified tester. And then on the other side of it, what we do is we pay the hostess 10% of whatever we pay out. As long as we buy $1,500 worth of gold, we pay out 10%. And then that's what we do in the beginning. As time goes on, they'll be able to get higher percentages by qualifying and doing more volume, because we believe the more you do, the more you should get paid. But that hostess can host a party and do a party and make 10%. So she invites her friends over, throws out some snacks. We buy $1,500 or more. If it's we buy $1,500, she's going to make 10% off of that. That's $1,500. I'm sorry, $150, and it keeps going up. And then there'll be some other bonuses and things like that. But I know some of you are sitting there going, well, I'm not going to do a gold party. And I know some of you are looking at me going, how many gold parties could you actually do, Paul? That was the thing. I couldn't do that many. But what I could do is, because I became a business builder, and that's another aspect of our company, is I went out and I found people that could do parties. I went out and found charities. How many of us realize charities are always looking for fundraising ideas? How many of you know little league teams that are always needing to raise funds for this or for that, and it's hard to do? What we do is this: we tell them, hey, if you host a party and you're a certified 501c, not just someone, deciding they want to be a charity, but if you're a certified 501c, we'll not only give you the 10% as the hostess, we'll give you another 10% on top of that out of the company's funds, because I just believe it's important to get back. But if you're the person out building this and you're getting us parties and you're bringing us to, individuals, you'll make it 10% on that too. So we'll pay 10% out to the host. And if you're the person that brought them in, we'll pay 10% out to you. I'm going to bring someone on in a few minutes named Lisa Pack, share her story a little bit, how she got started with us. But I'll wait and let her do it. But I want to show you this quick video real quick that kind of explains it in detail. And once again, Rodney, make sure that you can hear and see. Let me do this the right way. I think I have to do this a certain. Share the screen, video, share tab for audio. I think that's it. Here we go. Hopefully this works, guys.
For MySpace days, it's time to get together with... Hey, you. Yeah, you with the drawer full of jewelry you haven't worn since your MySpace days. It's time to get together with your friends and turn that forgotten, broken, or unwanted gold into a fabulous payday. All while doing your part to save the planet by reducing destructive gold mining. I'll explain. Welcome to Gold Rush Global, where throwing a party means you're making money instead of spending it. Think of Gold Rush Global as kind of like a Tupperware party, only the complete opposite. Instead of peddling plastic and putting pressure on your friends to part with money they don't have, at a Gold Rush party, friends leave with a whole lot more cash than they arrived with. And it's all completely legal. Here's how it works. You invite your friends for a get-together at your home. They bring their sad, broken, or unworn gold, and trust me, everyone has a junk drawer full of it. While the party is in full swing and you and your besties are catching up, we test the gold, weigh it, and give you and your friends a fair, on-the-spot offer. If you accept, we pay you right there and then. And here's the best part. As the host, you'll get 10% of everything we pay out for the night. And with the average party collecting $5,000 in gold, you could be walking away with a smooth $500 in your pocket, plus anything you get for your gold. And if you're part of a charity, church, PTA, or other organization that needs to raise money, this is such a simple way to hit your fundraising goals. But it's not just about the cash. Did you know gold mining is one of the most destructive things we're doing to this beautiful planet? Gold miners destroy an average of 2 acres of land just to get 1 tiny ounce of gold. This is often pristine jungle, rich with wildlife and oxygen-producing trees. So every ounce of unused gold we recycle at these parties means preserving 2 acres of precious land. At a gold rush party, you're not just making money, you're saving the planet too. Talk about a win-win. Oh, and there's one more thing. On top of the cash you'll get for your gold, the 10% of everyone else's gold, the fun you're having catching up with your friends, and the good you're doing for the environment, you'll also earn Element blockchain tokens for every piece of gold you trade in. Now, that might not mean anything to you right now, but this is a type of cryptocurrency, and who knows, one day these tokens alone could be worth more than that necklace you never wore. So if you like fun, cash, and saving the planet, book your first gold party right now. But I warn you, these parties are kind of addicting. To sign up, simply fill out the form below or go to goldrushglobal.com if you're watching this outside our website. We'll then send you everything you need to get started, including tips on how to create a list of people to invite, best ways to send out invitations, ideas to make sure people show up, and fun things to do when your guests arrive. Fill out the form and get ready for a fun new side hustle that you can feel good about. Welcome to Gold Rush Global, helping people and helping the planet, one piece of unwanted gold at a time.
Awesome. That's a great video. It's one of the tools that we use for, and we give you the access to that. What I want to do now, it's kind of just, before I get into the actual nuts and bolts of this, Lisa, are you available? Can you turn on your camera and unmute yourself? I bet you never thought I'd say that to you.
Hello.
So Lisa's decided she needs a gold background, and I hate it with every fiber of my being. But
Usually it looks better.
right, that's okay. Well, she also is babysitting her niece today, so I asked her to jump on here with me. So do me just real quick, like, how did you get involved? Lisa's a very integral part of what we do now in our other businesses, and I think Lisa, when I brought this up and said I was ready to do it again, was more excited than even I was. So, like, kind of tell the story of how you got involved with us.
So a friend of yours who was a friend of mine from high school told me about Gold Rush America, and I wasn't really wanting to have anything to do with it. And he finally convinced me that it was something that was legitimate and that I needed to look into it. And I'd just been laid off. So I was like, I don't have anything to lose. I'm going to give it a try. I had a party and really only invited about 15 people, probably 7 showed up, and everybody had gold and walked out with checks. And I guess, honestly, I was just in shock in the beginning that it was actually that easy. And from there, I just started building a team. Just, I don't know. It just kind of, like she said, it was addicting.
Right. And so how many, like, you did one party, and then how quickly did you start doing other parties? And this
Immediately.
is your co-host, Kinsey, in the background.
Kinsey, say hi.
No, it's all right. Get out of here.
You can do this while living real life. I mean, I know that sounds silly, but honest to goodness,
Absolutely.
my kids were raised on gold parties, and
Right.
I would be.
And so let me ask this. So you did your first own gold party, and then how hard was it to, like, build the business? Like, how did you build it?
It wasn't for me.
And
it was,
why?
I guess for me personally, because it was at a time when the economy was really bad, and so many,
like now?
very much like now. Yeah. And people needed money, and it was an easy way for me, instead of selling them something, I was able to just give them money for something they had laying around. It really was very simple.
And
I
what happened,
can't.
like, at these goal parties, and I'm asking these questions because I know the answer, but at these goal parties is when you would normally get even more people to do other goal parties, correct?
Oh, always. Definitely. There was always, I don't know. I know at least one party would always be booked from a gold party. I don't want to over exaggerate and say more than one. A lot of times there were, though. I mean,
Right.
and people would have multiple parties. So like, um, somebody might invite their church friends, and then maybe old high school friends, and then, oh, let me do my work friends. So one person could offer multiple opportunities to.
Right. And so then on top of that, you, like we see, you touched on the charity thing. That's a huge thing. And especially with us coming into the holiday season, you know, right now we're on the 9th of November. Between now and probably, I would say February or March
Mhm,
is our busiest time of the day in this industry,
mhm.
because before Christmas, people need money
Yes.
for gifts. I've seen people walk out of parties, and I'll show some of the. I went back to our old Facebook page, Gold Rush America, and you can actually go on and look at it. And I was
Pictures
like,
of me on my cruise.
yeah, it does have you on your cruise, I think. But and so you could look back and it's like, you know, right before Christmas is when people need money. And then after Christmas, people need money because they spend all that money on those credit cards and
Mhm,
they want to get them
mhm.
paid off. So between now and like February, March, you can build an amazing business that, to be honest with you, will keep going for years and years and years and years. You
My
know, like
kids had the absolute best Christmases the years that I worked with Gold Rush because you haven't talked
like
about
what are
this
some of the
part.
months? Like some of your biggest, like what was your average month?
Average was probably 8,000, high end 10 to 15,000.
Are
And
we
I was
boosting
in
too
the
much?
business for
And this
20,
wasn't something you had to build up to. Like this happened very quickly, right? Like it,
very fast,
you go, oh,
very
I
fast.
build up this huge clientele. It takes 6 months to get there. Like it
Mm-mm.
went out and you really got after it. And how did you build a business in the beginning? Like just through personal friends, ads on Facebook,
Yes.
like
The first group of people that came to my party, those folks saw it and knew they could be a blessing to their friends. So they booked parties. And then there was already always somebody at those parties. And then I got, I, because I was so passionate about it, I probably talked about it to nauseum, honestly. But I can remember
I will
recruiting
tell
a.
you, Lisa almost stopped cars under 5 miles an hour. And even now has gotten that excitement and energy. Like, you know, we own other businesses and it's great. Like, you know, what we're doing in the rideshare industry is amazing. We're taking and changing lives. That's a long process. With gold parties, like you could go in and get immediate gratification. You know, when Lisa would go and do a gold party and be able to pay out $10,000 or
Mhm,
$15,000 and know that those people were walking away from that party excited, happy. Some people were going to use it for a vacation. Some people were going to use it to pay, you know, their kids are in college, you know, and it's becoming very, very prevalent. I was with my parents. It's so funny. My parents, I was with them about a month, 2 months ago. I flew in and my parents know everything I did in the gold business. They were there the first day I ever did a gold party. They were visiting us in Florida. And but they had forgotten that I can buy gold. And my grandmother had died, left them some stuff. They didn't really want it. My mom, I went to her house. She goes, "Oh, we have some stuff we want you to look at." Handed me a bag of stuff. I didn't have my testing equipment with me. So I came back to Florida and I asked my mom before I left, I said, "How much do you think you're going to get?" And that's a fun thing to ask at gold
mhm,
parties. Like, how much do you
mhm.
think you're going to get for this? Because usually people are like, "Oh, it's nothing. It's just scrap, blah, blah, blah." And then when you tell, I had my son actually call my mom because he's learning how to test and do those things. I had him call and tell my mom she was going to get $1,300. And it's funny because I haven't been back to see my parents. I don't, my parents still deal in checks. I don't deal in checks. But I could sell them money. I could cash up. And they're like, my dad's like, "When are you going to send us that money?" I'm like, "Oh, I thought y'all didn't care about it." Like, I cared about it once I started, you know, and it's funny because my mom sent me a picture yesterday of their voting sign. And then she's like, "Oh, your dad wanted to know about that gold." I'm like, mm-hmm. Still trying to take my money 50 years
I can
later.
remember one person that I ended up buying specifically just from her, and then she booked a party. We were at the pharmacy, and she was having to get a couple of prescriptions filled, and she turned around to me and just made the comment of how expensive it was getting these prescriptions. And it was the perfect lead in to me to talk about, well, I may have a way to help you. And I ended up
And
doing
listen, I
one
know there's a
party.
lot of people on this call today and that are all like, there's so many business opportunities out there. There's so many things people would probably want to do, like get involved in a business. We used to do parties with network marketing companies
Hmm.
side by side where we would go in and buy the gold and then they would do their meeting and there was no conflict of interest because we weren't there to sell them anything or do anything. We were just there to buy the gold. And then they would turn around and get involved in that business. And I
Hmm.
know one of the things that we do is, we are in the blockchain space, and there's people that want to get involved in that, and maybe they don't have the money. But we have an option where people can actually send their gold into us. And so one thing, what I want to do real quickly is kind of share my screen. I want to go through this as fast as possible. I know we've been on for about 20 minutes. We can get you more information and set up time to talk with you. But I really want to just show you kind of what we've put together when it comes to our back office. We have a website. You can go straight to here. Someone can, watch the video. Then they can go down here and they'll decide on what they want, how they want to become involved. They put all their information in. They can become a party host, a business builder, or a tester. And I'll get through all three of those. Now, becoming a party host, easy. All you do is say, hey, I want to host a party. We'll get you videos. We'll get you information. Lisa will set up a time with you and she'll talk you through exactly what to do. We have a party coming up here next weekend in Florida with a charity. And Lisa has been meeting with the lady. I have a meeting. I think we're going to do it as soon as we get off of this call with the lady that's doing the charity. She has over 400 of those that donate and support her charity. And we're going to be doing a goal party where those people can come in and we'll walk you through it. So if you want to be a host, easy, so easy. And then listen, anything that you refer to us, we'll take care of you on that too. Now, you can become a business builder, which means you may do a couple of parties yourself, but you're the type of person that like Lisa turned into. And I don't think Lisa even thought she was going to be this person. Can you see my screen okay? Lisa, did I lose you?
Nope, I'm here. Yes, I can see it perfect.
All right. So, I mean, Lisa, I don't think even thought she was going to become a business builder. She's accidentally became one. And because it just took off, people would sit at a party and ask her, hey, how can I do this? How can I do this? How can I do this? And it was like one of the easiest things I've ever seen for people. And then on top of it, we have one other part. You can become a tester. And that's even more money for someone. Now, the first two, being a business builder or being a party host, cost you absolutely nothing. There's nothing involved in it. We use our money. We come in and buy. We pay people on the spot. We're working with part of one of our companies called Switch, where people will be able to get a Switch Gold Rush America card on the spot. We'll download the money, pay them right on the spot, and then they'll be able to take that money, put it in their own account or whatever they want. But there's also a little further above and beyond that we give people the ability to do. And let me get into that for you. So if someone wants to become a tester, and we have an in-depth process, like if you make a mistake in this, it's not good. Let me try to log it. And Lisa can tell you, I've made mistakes. She's made mistakes. Why is this thing not working? Now, James, my credentials aren't. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me make sure I got everything right on here. But Lisa, tell a little bit more about, some of the things that you experienced when it came to
so some of the things that
you heard. I know everybody goes, oh, this sounds great, but like, what are the objections? What are some of the things you used to hear when people are like, I don't know if this is real, or I don't know if that, like, what are some of the things you used to hear while I fix this other part?
Just, I don't have anything. And we would just always encourage them, just bring your jewelry box. And that's what they would do. And folks would be sitting around the table, and it was like playing a game, kind of looking through, one of the guests' jewelry. And then all of a sudden somebody would start digging through their jewelry box, especially if you're all around the same age. Oh my gosh, I've got a shrimp earring too. Just what they just had no idea that those little bits and pieces were going to add up to hundreds of dollars, if not thousands.
In the beginning, when you started with us, like, we had to carry cash and everything, didn't we? Was that still when we were doing cash?
I actually was able to do, you guys did cash. I was able to do
checks.
We wrote checks at that time. And I would
come a long way.
Ladies say, can you write 2 checks, one for one amount and one for the other, so I don't have to tell my husband how much I really made?
That's all. I didn't even know y'all were playing that game.
Yep.
I would have put a stop to that just for the brotherhood of my men.
Well,
all right. For some reason, can you do me a favor and put yourself on mute and call James and ask him why I can't log in?
I can.
With the credentials he gave me on the tester. For some reason, it's not letting me log in, and that's going to make me lose it. So I'll just, if we can't get it, we'll get it in. But I'll just tell you, we have a whole back office now. And we also give people the ability to not only, there was a company about 15, 20 years ago called Cash for Gold. And what they would do is they would have people send in their gold in an envelope. I thought it was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard of in my life. People would put their stuff in an envelope, mail it off to this company, and then they would just sit and wait for a check to come back. And now listen, they were bigger than we were at one time, and till we surpassed them because we started doing things the ethical way, doing it in front of people. But back then, I didn't have the option of doing an R-Link. And so what we do is we give our customers, not even people that don't want to do a gold party. If you have people that you want to refer to us to sell gold, you'll still make that 10% off of them selling things. And some of you are going to be marketers and you're going to be able to go out. Like we'll have funnels. I mean, we have people that know how to market. You could get an influencer to do this and they could have people, send in their gold. But the way they do it is different. They'll set up an appointment with us. We'll do an R-Link just like we're doing right now. They'll have their gold and stuff in front of them. We'll look at it and listen, I'm an expert and I've been doing this for a long time. If I can tell 100% that it's, costume jewelry or something very sentimental to them, I'm going to tell them, listen, that's not something we want to buy. You keep that. Now, if they're 99.9% of the time, they're going to have something that's real and they're going to have enough of it to make it worth it. And so what we're going to tell them is, listen, we'll get you an insured envelope and you're going to send it in to us and it'll be nondescript. It's not going to say Gold Rush, on it. We want to do it the right way so nobody steals it. You'll have it insured. You'll send it in to us. Then you'll take some pictures of it before you do. So you have an inventory. Once we receive your materials or your customers' materials, we'll get on another R-Link with them and we will show them, hey, we're going to test it. And there's a certain process of going through testing. We test it for the carat. We test it for the purity. We test it to make sure that it's not plated. We test it to make sure that it is what it says it is. And then we weigh it and we measure it. And then we make an offer to them, just like I am with you right now. If they approve that offer, we send it to them. They'll have to, click something and say they approve. We will automatically send them money through Zelle, Cash App, one of these other formats, or through our Switch partnership card. And they'll get that right away. That, I'm telling you right there, some of you are going to be able to refer so many people just that way. And it's very secure. And listen, if they decide they don't want to do it, all we ask is that they pay the shipping so that we're not out that. But if they do, we eat that cost for them and, we send them money right away. Did you talk to him?
Yeah, I was able to log on using it.
The exact one I'm using?
I think so.
Well, maybe you're going to have to share your screen. I keep getting it. Can you share your screen?
Tell me how to do it.
Up in the right-hand corner should be a button that says share screen.
Yeah.
James has me blocked out or something. Are you sharing it?
Not yet. Hold on. Let me pull it up.
I mean, people just want to spend their whole Saturday afternoon.
I'm sorry. Okay, so there's that.
No, we don't need to give it for here. Nobody's here. Yeah.
What are you doing? You didn't hit the share screen button.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Window. There we go.
You know what?
Is it there?
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So what we'll do on this is, just so you see. So what'll happen is you'll have to purchase a testing kit. I think it's like $845. But what that does, it gives you all kinds of different things. Here, hit that button, Lisa. What it does is it gives you the ability. Can you go to where your list of all the things that are in here that'll be on your computer? Yep. So what happens is you'll pay, and listen, if you want to just be a tester, if you just want to be a party host or just a business builder, this doesn't apply. You don't have to worry about it. And most people won't. But some people that are going to want to maximize their income and be able to help us, in many different ways, you're going to want to, you're going to be able to buy the gold and you're going to be able to use our money to do it. And I will tell you this, if you want to go out and start your own gold buying business, you're going to have to set up all the licenses because it takes licenses to do this. You're going to have to set up with the police stations because when you buy precious metals, they want to make sure things aren't stolen. We have that whole deal. We have a whole process when we're buying gold. We have to enter everything in a certain way Then we ship it off to the police station. We hold the materials for 30 days. So if you're doing hundreds of millions of dollars like we were, you better have enough money to cover and hold it for 30 days. So perfect. If you go down and you see here, precious metals comprehensive. So go back up, please.
There we go.
There you go. So go back up a little bit. So what's going to happen is you're going to get a video training. You're going to get a manual that goes through and shows you how to do it. You're going to have a test that you have to pass so that you can be a certified tester. You're going to get all the equipment that is between $500 and $600 in value. You'll have scales. You'll have all the equipment that I use on a daily basis to buy gold. Hold on. Don't go.
Go back.
Go.
Where do you want me to go?
Go back up. I want to make sure we didn't miss anything. So you'll get all this. So you'll get also live one-on-one testing. You know, we'll get on our link. You'll have some gold in front of you. You'll test it. Show me, Lisa can help you. Pedro is one of the gentlemen and one of my partners that Pedro and I probably did 500 gold parties together and then another 300 or 400 each separately. So we know how to do it. We know how to make sure you don't buy fake. Because I'm telling you, if you buy a fake piece of gold, it can affect your profit by $500, right, Lisa?
Shut up, Paul. Don't buy pocket watches.
Yeah, we don't do pocket watches because there's just little idiosyncrasies, things that we know. And some people go, well, what if it is sometimes? Well, we don't go for sometimes. We go for all the time because this is a very lucrative business, but it's also can be very costly if you make mistakes. Mm-hmm. So we go through and teach you how to do security, the best handling tips. I mean, you're dealing with amazing amounts of wealth, and we give you the ability to use our money. And I think that's the greatest opportunity you're going to have so that you don't have to, have your own money. So go down a little bit, Lisa. If you look on here, you're going to have all these different things. You'll become a certified tester. During a party, if you have a question, you're going to be able to either get us on the phone or you're going to be able to get us on an R link and we'll be able to show you. And in that $850, I think you also get a year subscription to R link so that you can do these testing. And listen, we'll pay you to do parties on top of everything else. Lisa, you're making a lot of noise.
That's not me.
Oh, well, somebody's making a lot of noise. So we will make this amazing for you. And but that's if you want to. You don't have to do it. But if you do, we need testers now. We're ready to start going and blowing. We're getting into the busy season, mm-hmm. and we want to start booking these as quick as possible. And you can always get Lisa or I on a call to talk after we get done. So let me go back. You can stop sharing your screen for a minute. But in the back office, when you decide what you want to be, once you pay for your testing kit, if that's what you decide the route you want to go, we'll have everything drop shipped to you, all the equipment, and then we'll start training you on a daily basis. You'll be able to ask us questions. And I'm telling you, long after we're doing this business, it's a great skill to have because when people in your family want to sell gold, they'll come to you instead of going somewhere else. And even if, this may not last for more than a year or two. Gold prices could come back in line. I don't know that they will because they haven't in 15 years. But I used to tell people this has got about a 2-year to 3-year window because over the last 15 years, people have had the opportunity to accumulate stuff and go through relationships and get stuff that's broken. But after 2 or 3 years, I used to tell people, listen, unless you're robbing gold from your neighbors, the opportunity may not be as big then as it is right now. And I didn't know that this opportunity would ever come around again after we did it. We were so excited and so happy and it worked out so well for so many people. But this is probably one of the most amazing businesses that gives value to everyone involved. No one gets hurt. You can't buy a project. What?
Do you remember what the highest it was when we were buying?
Yeah, like 1,500, 1,600. I just looked at it just now and showed them in the beginning of the show. It was 1,600 was at the top about 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
So it's gone up another, $5,000. So real quickly, I wanted to just show you a couple of examples and then we'll end this call. But if you have questions, I know I haven't looked at the chat. You're more than welcome right now. For my email, you can send it to paul@revoride.com. Lisa, we have an email for it, right?
Yes.
Do you know the email? Can you put it in the chat?
Yeah.
So Lisa will put the email in the chat. If you have questions, you can sign up. If you sign up for a tester or a business builder, I'm sorry, a party host or a business builder, it'll give you information on that. But let me show you what I was going to show you real quick. Just some of the, can you see my screen all right, Lisa?
Yep.
So these are some of the things I took off our Facebook page from 15, 16, how many years it was. There's Pedro actually right here in the top right corner testing. Pedro and I used to go down to Puerto Rico and we would buy $20,000 to $30,000 in gold in a
That's
weekend.
a lot of gold right there.
I know that
Yeah.
is. And so like if you look up in the top left-hand corner, just got back from a great gold party. Only 2 people would go and we paid out over $6,500. That was April. That was back in April of 2013. This one here bought 3,047 in gold by a lady that met it at a quarter auction. Like there's all kinds of ways we can teach you to go out and get business and in a very inexpensive way to do it. So the next thing I wanted to show you, our system Central host a gold party where we buy 1,500 or more and you receive 10% of the payout. Refer someone that hosts a gold party where we buy 15 or more and receive 10% of the payout. So you have a hostess that makes 10%, you make the same amount. And that gives you the incentive to go out and get more gold parties and help people when they're doing them. The average party we buy in gold, silver, and platinum, as a host, you would earn 10%. So $500 just for the hosting the party. The business builders, we talked about that. But just a simple example, 10% of everything we pay out. So if you referred 10 parties that pay out $5,000 at each party, which is very easy to do, you would earn $5,000. And you didn't have to sell anything. You didn't have to hound people. You had to hand people money using our system. And so if you look in here, this is also some of the training stuff that goes along with it. And we're working on making it better every day. And listen, in the beginning, if you got some really good things, we'll come out and help you with those parties. Like Pedro and I have traveled all over the country, into Canada, into Puerto Rico, and now I've traveled all over the world. We're looking to make this into a global business. And so we can find out the rules and regulations in each country. And listen, we can go all over the world to do this thing and make a difference at the same exact time. So I don't want to take a lot of your extra time today. I appreciate it on a Saturday you jumping on. We'll make this video available as quickly as we possibly can. But I'm just telling you, this is an opportunity that in addition to anything else you're doing, it's very easy to do. Lisa didn't think she was going to do it as a full-time thing when she first started, but within, months, she was making the kind of money that most people only dream about in these different businesses. And 15 years later, she and I are still working together in different projects because of the bond and what we went through with that industry. So I appreciate everyone jumping on. If you have any questions, please send me an email. If you have my text message, we can talk on the phone, whatever you need to do. This is an amazing business and an amazing compliment to whatever you're already doing. So I appreciate everyone. Thank you guys and have a great day. I should have said have a golden day.